Hey, what's going on, public speakers? David Santiago here with TM Podcast, the podcast that puts out the insights, tips, and mindset of public speakers so that you can learn from them and improve your public speaking approach, your game, whatever you want to call it. And I wanted to share some of these car talks. You know, every day we all get in our cars, and if you're like me, you talk a lot to yourself in your car. In fact, if somebody was driving next to me, they'd be like, what is going on with that man? He's always talking to himself. But I think talking to yourself is a powerful tool. But I'm going to keep these talks short, and in the hopes of delivering some value to you and improving your public speaking approach. So today I was thinking about, I was hearing a podcast, and in the podcast there was a fighter, a coach of fighters, this MMA coach, and he said that he told his students that if you fight the way you practice, in other words, if you maintain the same level of dedication, focus, and attitude as you do in the practice ring, when the real fight comes, you'll do great. You'll put yourself in the best position to win. And I thought about, as public speakers, how much of an advantage we have. Because if you think about it, before you give a speech, you really can control all of the elements. You can control your speech. You can control the content of your speech, the topic of your speech. You can control, heck, you can even control where you're going to wear that day before you go up in front of an audience. There's so much you can control. And then the day comes, the day where you finally speak. And so what happens is, now we have to identify who is our opponent that day. So you have that MMA fighter, his opponent is right in front of him. He has no idea what his opponent is going to do. He has no idea whatsoever. And his opponent is going to try to neutralize his strength, okay? Whereas as a public speaker, our opponent is twofold. Our opponent is, number one, our own mindset, and number two, the audience. Now, let's focus on the audience real quick. The audience is actually rooting for us. Various studies have shown that people do not want to see a public speaker fail. Have you ever heard someone speaking, and whether it be a president or someone at your local Toastmasters club, when they're up there and they're having a tough time giving a speech, you're almost rooting for that person. You don't want to see them fail. Even if you're competing against them, you don't want them to say, I forgot everything. I'm running out of here. You're almost saying, please get through this. And if you're not doing that, you're probably checking your phone or thinking about what you're going to buy afterwards. In other words, you're tuned out. So the audience is not really an opponent for a public speaker, unless you're in front of a school board after an incident has happened at a school, which I've done that. I've actually been in front of a school board after an incident, and it's not easy because you're dealing with a lot of emotions. But still, they wanted to hear what I had to say. So your second opponent is your mindset. It's your own mind. Think about that. Your own mind is your biggest opponent when you're giving a speech. So the more you practice that state of confidence, the more you practice giving your speech, the more you say things to yourself, affirmations such as, I'm confident with my public speaking abilities. I love to talk to people. Speaking is a natural thing, and I do it regularly, and I want to share my message with as much people as I can. Things like that. The more you ingrain those things into your mindset, the less difficult that opponent, which is your greatest opponent, your mindset, becomes. So that's our insights for today. Car drive. I'm going to call these car talks, public speaking car talks. I don't know what I'm going to call these, but just take that insight with you. Know that your biggest opponent when giving a speech isn't anything that's outside. Your audience is rooting for you. Your colleagues are rooting for you. Your club is rooting for you. Your biggest opponent, my friends, is yourself, your mindset. So practice these things. Talk to yourself in your car. Record yourself. Do it as much as you can. I'm doing it right now so that you can gain confidence and have great speeches, make impacts throughout your whole world and just feel better when you're speaking. So I hope you have a great day today. Drive safely, and drive safely, right? And let's stay in touch. Here's to your speaking success. TM Podcast, David Santiago, I'm out.